This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. There's nothing sweeter than baking cookies during the holidays. With Prime, I get all my ingredients delivered right to my door, fast and free, no last-minute store trips needed. And of course, I blast my favorite holiday playlist on Amazon Music. It's the ultimate soundtrack for creating unforgettable memories. From streaming to shopping, it's on Prime. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to get more out of whatever you're into.
Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. You know, one of the perks about having 4 kids that you know about is actually getting a direct line to the big man up north. And this year, he wants you to know the best gift that you can give someone is the gift of Mint Mobile's unlimited wireless for $15 a month. Now, you don't even need to wrap it. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited. See mintmobile.com for details.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Trading Coach Podcast. Akil here as always. Today, I'm going to lend you some advice on picking your first trading strategy. Actually, I guess it could be picking any type of trading strategy. It doesn't necessarily have to be your first, but that was the question that we got in today's Q&A session. Now, before we hop into the session, do me a favor, make sure you check out the shorts part of my YouTube channel. I upload like 2 videos a day, short, quick trading tips meant to help you along your day. Make it a habit, make it a routine, make it a process of helping you become a better trader. All right, let's hop in. What strategy should I backtest in my first ever strategy? Now, my first bit of advice is do this. I've got a Trading Coach Podcast episode. I don't remember what number it is. I want to say 90 because I recommend it a lot. But it was actually from a Q&A session we did here. And the podcast episode is called Learning How to Learn. And what that podcast talks about is what I think is the right way to progress through the courses. How to learn first, not think about backtesting yet. Don't worry about that, right? Learn first, go through the courses first, just be a sponge for knowledge. Figure out kind of what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. What do you pick up easy? What is super hard and frustrating? After you've gone through everything, right? This is the buffet effect, right? Walk through the buffet, survey the land, see what they have before jumping in. And then after you see what you have, then you kind of think about, okay, which of these did I kind of like? Which of these was easy? And then you go through the course again, but from the perspective of, hey, I'm leaning towards being this type of trader. Because is there a best strategy to start with? Is there an answer for that? There is no answer, right? I would say that maybe even a question before that instead of what strategy, what time frame, right? there's so many moving pieces. But yeah, so there's no, I can't answer the question of what strategy you should start with, but I can give you some advice. And my advice would be is start with something that you understand. So as you go through the course, what made sense to you? What stood out? Was CTS like easy for you, or was CTS super frustrating and confusing because there were like so many scores and you had to do math? Was the daily chore something that you like? Or was it like, nah, not my cup of tea? Was advanced patterns something that you picked up on? Or did you say, no, these things have weird names, they've got legs and look like bats and Gartleys and all these triangles, I don't like it. Is price action more of your thing, right? So you have to figure out what do you like, but also what is easy for you to pick up. Because it's one thing to like something, but if you can't actually do it, it's going to be very hard. And that plays a role, because understand that you're just going to improve as a trader, right? You're going to get better. And there are some things that you just maybe can't do right now because you're not at that level. I would also say this, and this is just going for me personally, I tried and failed at a lot of strategies early on because I picked what I liked, but I picked what I thought was easiest. My philosophy was this: I'm going to trade as quickly as possible, because if I trade as quickly as possible, I can start making money as quickly as possible, and I'll start my whole plan of becoming a billionaire, right? I told you guys I had the 20 pip a day strategy where I was going to become a millionaire in whatever many years, right? And that didn't work. Wasn't that 20 pips a day isn't as easy as it seems when you actually try it. But I bounced around from a few strategies, not because I liked things, but at first because I just thought, hey, I can do this right away. Then I went to things that I thought I liked after that. So my first step was going for
what can I start trading as quickly as possible? What required the least amount of work? So I did like a lot of mechanical strategies. I'm like, oh, the rules are already there, plug and play, right? I'll just do it. But it didn't meet my philosophy. Then after I realized like, hey, this stuff doesn't meet my philosophy and I'm making psychological mistakes, I don't actually believe in what I'm doing, I was like, let me pick something that I believe in. Let me pick something that I understand. And I found it. But I wasn't necessarily at the level where I can do it the correct way. I wasn't educated enough, probably because I wasted so many time looking for the get rich quick strategy. I wasn't educated enough to trade it properly. I wasn't good enough at analyzing the market. And I still had psychological mistakes because of that. So I ended up on my final restart, right? Version 3.0 of this matrix. I ended up with advanced patterns because it kind of combined it the best of both worlds for me. I wanted to do something where I analyzed the market. Advanced patterns allowed me to do that. I wanted to do something that I believed in. I did believe in advanced pattern formations. And I needed something that was rules-based so I didn't get myself into trouble. And this advanced pattern formations for me met all three of those kind of requirements. It allowed me to do analysis, which is what I wanted to do. It made me feel good. It stroked my ego ever so gently. It was rules-based, so it kept me out of trouble, which handled the psychological side of things. And then what happened as I evolved as a trader, because I was a price action drill, I was a pretend price action trader, right? A PPAT, pretend price action trader. PPAT is what they called me. Trading friends would be like, hey, PPAT, what are you doing today? I'd be like, losing money again. I don't know what that was. But after I spent a lot of time on the market and I continued to learn and develop, I went back to price action trading, and it was different because one, I was stronger technically. Two, I was stronger psychologically. So I went back to CTS trading, and I was able to do the CTS much more efficiently because now I actually knew what I was doing. So I just wasn't ready to trade it. That was always my favorite style of trading was price action, support and resistance, right, stuff like that. I just wasn't ready to trade it in the beginning. And again, it's probably because, again, when I first went through my courses, instead of like taking time to actually learn and practice things, I was just looking for the quick fix. So when I started trading patterns, that's when I went back and actually learned how to trade the correct way. So that's the best advice that I could give you, because there is no best for everyone. Some people love patterns, some people love price action, some people love follow the bear, right? There's millions of things we teach you here. There's you got to find which one's the best for you, and that's also going to work around, again, what is your allowable tradable time, and that goes to the whole thing of like working your trading around your lifestyle, which we've talked about numerous times. Stuart says, if I can go back in time, I would do this. I'd not worry about strategies. I'd pick a higher time frame and a trading time frame, and I just do multiple time frame analysis and get really good at the IP phase, right? That's the whole prediction game, right? Play the prediction game. Just go on a chart and make predictions. I think once you do this, you'll start to notice patterns of move you keep seeing in the market that resonate with you, trend, counter trend, etc., and you can build your strategy around that. Yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea. I think that's a brilliant idea. So it sounds like a longer path, but it would have been way quicker than the path I took. Yeah, it's funny. The quicker path tends to take longer, right? It's I was trying to draw out something, but it doesn't make sense. But imagine looking on a map, right? And you have one X that is close to you, and then one X that is far away. Now the X that's far away, you got to traverse the mountains and hop over lakes and a whole kind of Jumanji type of thing to get there. The shorter path looks quick, and it's like, I know it's right there. But there's like 18 different wild, crazy beasts you have to fight. And what happens is each time you fight those beasts, it's going to take however many days to get past it. Rather, if you went the long way around, you actually would have made it. It's funny, it's the same thing driving. We have some really bad traffic here, especially during rush hour. He's a better example. So I'm back and forth to New York a lot. And there's two ways I can get to New York, right? There's one that goes kind of pretty much straight up. That takes maybe like
This episode is brought to you by AWS. Amazon Q Business is the new generative AI assistant from AWS. Many tasks can make business slow, like wading through mud. Help! Luckily, there's a faster, easier, less messy choice. Amazon Q can securely understand your business data to help you streamline tasks, like summarizing quarterly results or doing complex analyses in no time. Q got this. Learn what Amazon Q Business can do for you at aws.com/learn more.
2.5 hours. There's another one that goes around, and it takes like 3 hours, depending on what part of New York I'm going to, right? For the longest time, I used to take the straight path because my brain is kind of like, it's like, this makes sense, do it. I don't know what that's called, but my brain is kind of wired in a way where it's like, yes, shorter path, do that. Like, makes perfect sense. But numerous times taking that trip, we always run into traffic because going through Philly is horrible. You're paying more in tolls. It never actually takes the 2 hours or 2.5 hours that it does. It always takes me like 3. The quote unquote longer path, mileage wise, actually takes shorter. There's no traffic. There's no toll. You can speed a little bit, right? Not as many cops, and you actually get there quicker. So yeah, I agree, Stu. I think the same thing is for trading. We tend to want the shortest path to success, but on that shortest path to success, we have to restart or retrace, right? It's one step forward, 2 steps back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. We have to do that so many times before we finally break through that if we just took little baby steps around that long path, we'd actually make it there quicker, which means we would save time. And in many cases, because a lot of traders are doing stuff we're not supposed to do, like trading live too early, you know what I'm saying, right? We would save ourselves a lot of money as well. So I think that's a great idea. And basically what Stuart is saying is this: let it naturally happen, right? When you're going through the training, and again, this goes back to Trading Coach Podcast, episode 90, right? Go through the training course twice. The first time is just walking through the buffet. Don't be focused on what strategy, because you're going to force it, right? Just observe, watch it, enjoy it. Do the process like Stuart is saying. Just pick a time frame. Pick random pairs, random markets, and just like make observations. And naturally, you will start to kind of see what gravitates to you, where it's like, man, I really like that play when price like hits structure and turns around. Or, man, I really love that play when price breaks out of structure and extends up. Or, man, I really like those sideways channels. I really like those ascending triangles. I really like those lost momentum patterns. And then once you kind of figure out kind of what you like and then what your eyes naturally pick up, boom. Now you go into a deeper investigation. That's when you load up that course again, go through the material, but now relate all that material to the specific thing that you're looking at. Okay, like let's understand candlestick strength, because I know that in a loss of momentum candle or a pattern, I'm trying to read this. So I think that's a brilliant bit of advice. Play the prediction game. Good stuff, man. That was good.
Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Before you go, leave me a rating and a review if you haven't done so already. It only takes a minute or so to click those stars, but it is very helpful for what we're doing here with the Trading Coach Podcast. Also, if you ever have any ideas or subjects that you want me to discuss, hit me up on social media, shoot me an email, however you want to reach me. And if it's good, we'll make an episode about it. All right, until next time, plan your trade, trade your plan. Take care.